Welcome to Out and About. Today I'm joined by Olivier Marian of Arteia. Hi.
Hello.
So Arteia launched a platform aiming to bring more transparency and liquidity to the art market. You want to store the provenance of art pieces on the blockchain. And I was wondering if you talk about transparency concerning what? Can you give an example of where transparency was lacking and the consequences?
Yeah, so what we mean by this is the information about the history of an artwork is often difficult to obtain. If you are a buyer and you want to obtain the history of an artwork, it's difficult. And so, for an example, it's often not really obtainable for sure. If you look at the most expensive artwork that has been sold, the Salvator Mundi from Leonardo da Vinci, it's still a fight of experts. So you have to choose an expert, to pick one, and to decide that this is the one that you want to trust. We want to try to improve this situation and to create a database that will be filled with information directly by artists. So this is, we believe, the most significant part of this is try to get the information from the source. So we will try to work with artists directly. We have made an agreement with Adel Abdesemed to create his first digital catalogue raisonné. The digital catalogue raisonné is the list of recognized artwork from an artist. And so we are working with him to create this, and the idea to put this on a digital platform, you want to be sure that it will be secure, and for this we use the blockchain technology.
So you mentioned the catalogue raisonné. I actually spoke to Ulrich Obrist, and he actually thinks it's a great project, Arteia, because he says so many times you don't have the information of artists, or just when they die, you go back and store it or archive it somewhere.
It's interesting that blockchain, of course, could be a tool in the future for catalogue raisonné, because very often, artists start their catalogue raisonné very late in their life. Sometimes it doesn't even happen during their lifetime; it happens posthumously. And of course, the catalogue raisonné is a very important tool, not only for the art market, but particularly also for scholarship, because in a way, if one researches an artist, it's very important to know where are the works, what are the works, how many artworks an artist created, and that's an information which very often isn't there until very late. And so basically what blockchain could basically do is that there is a catalogue raisonné from the get-go.
But nevertheless, I was thinking about so many other players in the art market. They are not so interested in having more transparency in the art market.
I think there's an history of being afraid of some change, but really now we think it's the moment. Now technology is really reaching even this art market, which has been very reluctant to it, but it's coming from everywhere. Digitization, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology for provenance. There are a lot of projects around this. And we also believe that the new entrants on this market, what we often call the millennials, that will fuel this ecosystem, they are used for every other market, they are used to this transparency, and this technology will help.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but still many players, they actually do business because they know things that others don't know, and they have the power because of that, like big galleries or...
Yeah, I think it's part of it, but we have a lot of friends. I've been in this ecosystem for a while because my parents have been collecting for 50 years, and I had the chance to be friends with a lot of galleries and art professionals. I really believe it's an idea that they are afraid of this. They are just used to certain things, and we will try to show them that there will be improvements even for them.
How do you want to convince them? I mean, the art market is still not very digitalized, right? They're not so used to that yet. I mean, the online sales are starting a little bit.
But just sticking to this idea of provenance database, if you are able to reassure new entrants on the market, because they will be able to consult information, to have information that they are used to have, like when they buy a building or when they buy a car, they are able to have this information. Well, if you have this provenance database that will give them this sense of insurance of the reality of the information. There will be new entrants, so new buyers, new liquidity for the market, and of course all the art professionals will benefit from this. So it will be easier. You know, there are also a lot of responsibility for auction house or for a gallery when they sell something. They engage their responsibility for the provenance. And if we simplify the process of checking this provenance, I believe everybody will be happy.
So at Art Basel in previous years, you know, they spoke a lot about blockchain. There were talks about that, and at the WEF as well last year, I remember. So do you see a push forward somehow? Because this year I didn't hear about any talks.
Maybe it's a good thing. As I used to say, the blockchain it's really a technology. We should much more talk about the use cases and the applications of the technology than just the technology itself. So it's been a buzzword for the last 2 years. Now probably people are more working on the usage of this, and it's I think it's a very good thing that we can just focus on the applications and how this will help the art market.
So let's talk about financing. You were able to raise 3 million euros already. And then for future financing, you're launching an ICO, right? You want to sell utility tokens. Explain a bit better how that works.
Yeah, so it's difficult in 3 minutes, but basically what we are creating is a platform, a global platform of services that will allow art professionals, collectors and artists to better interact. And one of the centerpiece of this is a provenance database. To use this, you will use tokens to buy services, to buy and to fuel transactions on this platform. And we are selling, the process of an ICO is to sell in advance those tokens that will allow the buyers of the token to use the services afterwards. One of the big difference of our project compared to all the ICO is that we have been working with the Swiss regulator for a long time, and we will have, we believe, the first project where the 5 use cases that are explained in our white paper, which is the description of the project, those 5 use cases will be usable just at the end of the ICO. This is already working on testnet. We developed already the system, and we just want to put it live then at the end of the ICO.
So that was different compared to other companies where you had an ICO and then you had to wait for a long time until you could use it.
Yeah, right? Usually people had an idea, they would try to make an ICO, get some funds and try to develop it, and maybe 12 months, 18 months later you would have a platform available. Now it is not the case. We already have an existing product, which is a collection management system that we delivered in October of last year. We are a real company, and we have this platform that is running for the blockchain platform that will be available during the summer at the end of the ICO.
Okay, and do you already have clients?
And we do already have clients for the collection management system, absolutely. We have more than 40,000 artworks stored in our collection management system by a little less than 100 customers, and we just started 7 months ago. So we are very excited. We also did some nice partnerships regarding this provenance project. We are partner with CAHIERS, which is a very old and nice company that was created by Mr. Zervos, and he was the creator of the Catalogue raisonné of Picasso. The Catalogue raisonné of Picasso is 33 books with 16,000 artworks, paintings that are described in those books. And the purpose of this partnership with CAHIERS is to create a joint venture to create digital catalogue raisonné, but to protect the information of those catalogue raisonné,
on the blockchain.
It will be secured by the blockchain, absolutely. And we signed an agreement with ARTELA, as I told before, to start. By the end of the year, you will have the digital catalogue raisonné secured by the blockchain of ARTELA online.
Okay. So, and who are your clients? Are those mostly collectors?
So we started with collectors. The idea is we are collectors and we needed a product. So we are the first users of our solution.
So when you talk about we, it's the founders, your
The
family?
founders, absolutely. Everybody. So my family, the founders, the shareholders that we have, they are all collectors. So we started this, we like to say it's by collectors for collectors. And then we also saw a lot of interest by artists So we are working with artists that are able to start to inventory all the production with this cataloging solution. And also we work with art professionals, so insurers. We signed an agreement with an insurer in Belgium. Shippers, all the ecosystem could benefit from this, and yeah, we are very excited.
Okay, good. You say all the players could benefit from this, but when I see that you can have do direct sales on Arteia between collectors, I'm just wondering, where does it leave the galleries then? They're obsolete.
The gallery, they are not here very much for the second market. Most of the time it's first market, and if you buy something from a gallery and you want to sell it again, if you go to the gallery, it's not their business model. They won't be very happy for this. There are some galleries specialized in second market, but the idea is not for this. And also, we are targeting a lower level.
What about the auction houses then?
Yeah, but same idea. We are targeting a lower part of this market. You have to know that 80% of what is sold in auctions every year is lower. The price is lower than maybe $8,000 to $10,000, and most auction companies they don't want to use this. They want to take care of more important artworks because it's expensive for them to manage this. So if you bought an artwork at 3,000 euros and you want to sell it, there's no really second market. There's no really liquidity for this. And we believe we will be able to make this peer-to-peer platform. And also very important, we are making a marketplace for lending artwork, because it's a big problem also for museums trying to make exhibitions. Again, this idea of transparency, they don't know exactly who is owning what. So they have to go back to the auction houses to try to find the information. They have to try to contact the artwork owner to tell them that there will be an exhibition and if they want to loan the artwork. So we want to create something that will simplify this process.
So you were founded in Brussels, but you're based in Zug. Why Zug? I mean, of course, the blockchain hub, but are there other reasons?
Yeah, so two main reasons. The art market. Switzerland is very important. There are a lot of very nice collectors, and these are our prime customers. There's, of course, the Freeport in Geneva. So there's a huge activity in the art market for Switzerland. And also regarding our ICO, we wanted to have a space with a very well-defined regulation, and the FINMA has been very effective. Like always in Switzerland, you know, the rules are defined, and it's very easy to work with this, because you have to find regulation. You don't want to change all your project every 6 months or every 12 months. So we've been working with our legal advisors that are KPMG Geneva and with the FINMA to be sure that we were following the rules.
So some of your co-founders are also family members of the family Taittinger.
Yes.
We know them from the champagne.
Yes.
I was wondering, what was their motivation to be part and to also co-finance it?
It was really back to this idea, by collectors for collectors. The Taittinger, Hugues and Marie Taittinger, are very keen art collectors. And more than collectors, they are really involved in the art ecosystem. They have created in Thailand an artist residency, and they know everybody in this world. So yeah, it was natural for them. They were looking also for a tool for managing their collection, and they know exactly this ecosystem, and they knew that our project was relevant.
And what are the next milestones then? It's the ICO
A lot of things. So this provenance database, and then we are also working on a lot of different projects like artificial intelligence for a recommendation engine. The idea is, if you buy something, we will try to show you different things, like in the music, Spotify or stuff like this. And also for price prediction. The idea is to be able to look at all the data that is available on the market and try to define trends for the value of your artwork, but also when is the good moment to buy or sell this or this artist. So very exciting things. We have very smart people joining the project for artificial intelligence also.
Great. Thank you so much for joining
me. Thank you. Thank you for having me.